Hello guys, and welcome to another video tutorial on Microsoft Excel. Today we're going to look at some of the functions in Microsoft Excel and we're going to look at three of them. So first of all, we're going to look at the count function. Right, to do the count function, we want to enter in the cell C3. We want to use the count function to count the team which played on the Wednesday or 8th March. Okay, so within here we want to find from this table number of people who played on 8th March. There are two ways to do this. First way is to put in the equal sign and then type in count. So as you begin to type the word count, it pops up, and double click on it. Once it pop up, now within the cell A3 all the way to A14, you have the team and the goal is scored in the next page. All right, so what I'll do is I'll press Ctrl Shift and the down arrow, and once I do that, it selects the cells that are within that particular range. So once I do that, I hit the equal sign. Now you can see here that it returns 6. Now what this count function does is counts only the numbers. So here I have 4, and then I have 0, I have 6, that is 3, this is 4, 5, and that is 6. So it counts only the numbers. Although I selected the cell A3 to A14, it counted only the numbers within the cell, and that is what the count function does. So in this case, we're able to count the number of cells. Now another way to do the same thing is to use the function builder here. So once I click on insert function, it gives me the pop-up, and within the top here I type in count and hit go, and then you find count down there. So all I have to do is, once count is highlighted, I click on OK. So here, what values do I want to select? So I just have to select the range. So Ctrl Shift then down key. Here you don't really have to do this for value 2, and then you can see that you have 6 as the answer right there, and I click on OK. So that will be the two ways to use the count function. All right, now we go to count A. Now the count A function count all cells that are not empty. So here we have within the cell C1 all the way to E8, we have the name of student and the grade marks, the letter grades that they scored in the various subjects. So English, these guys did not have any grade pulled there. These people did not have any grade there. This as well is empty. So here I want to use a count A function to count the number of letter grades I have here. So here I have 3. So if I use the count A, I should get 3 within the space C8, right? Now the count A, as I mentioned earlier on, it does not count empty spaces. So here once again I can click on that and then type in the count. Once I type on count, you find count A popping, double click on it. So once that is open, within there you select the cells that you are interested in. In this case here, I'm interested in the cell C1 all the way to C7. So I can use the shift key and select all the way to C7 and hit the enter key. So right there I selected English as part of them, so that shouldn't be the case. So it should be from C2. So we do the correction there. So C2 and enter. So here we can find 3 there. So all I have to do to make sure the formula is repeated is to drag the autofill, and then it does that for this. So here we have 2, and in this case here we have 3 and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and that is 4. Okay, so alternatively we can just type in everything by saying equal to and then count, and then we are using the count A. So double click on that and highlight the cell C. In this case is E2 all the way down to E7. So once that is highlighted, I click on enter and my answer is 4. So those are the two ways to use the count function. The counting function is for counting cells with the condition you specify. So for example, within the cell C, within this column C, you want to count in the number of singles among the people here, among these 8 people. So that is the use of the count if. So in this case, we're going to use again the insert function. So once I click on that, I click on count if. Now count if comes with two things. You have the range and then the criteria. Okay, so the range is simply the cells that contains the information you want to count the number of singles from. So here I have the cell C2 all the way to C8 holding the information about singles and married. Okay, so and the criteria is I want to count the people who are married. So in this case I want to count A12. So the criteria is in A12, and that is what I select. And once that is done, I click on OK. Now it says 0 here. Now the reason why it says 0 here is because of the format of the text here. So what I'm going to do here to make it change is to copy whatever text I have here, replace it there, copy and paste this, and then that also goes in. Now you realize that once I change the text format for married, it gave me 3 people, and you can see right from here that we have 3 people who are married. Okay, so the same will apply to single as well. So all I have to do is to click on the format for single and then just bring it down there. Now once again, because I have used this cell which contains married, all I have to do is to click the autofill. The autofill, when I place the cursor on this square shape right there, that is the autofill. Just drag it to the next cell and it fills in the information for the second people. So here again, you see here it says count 13, so it's counting the number of people in a cell. Now the mistake we made here is that we did not lock the cell. Now when you're using count if, always make sure you use the $sign, which is you lock the cell. Okay, you use the $sign to lock the cell. So I'll click the escape key, double click on that, and within this cell here, which is C2 all the way to C8, must be locked. So in all cases for count if, make sure you lock the cell. So to lock the cell, you just have to press the F4 key, and if you are using Windows 8, you click on FN with the F4 key together, and when that is done, the cell is locked. Okay, so now I have to repeat the formula, and once I come down, the cell is locked for that particular one. So here I have to autofill in, and this here is still using the old formula. So all we have to do is to change this to C2. So C2, and then it counts 4. Ideally this here, okay, it did not lock when we entered, so that's why when I replicated I still had it moving now. Alright, so here it's locked. So once it's locked now, all I have to do is to make sure I drag it down and it's replicated in it. So here it's also locked there. Alright, so that is how to do the count if. Alright, so count if is used to count specific let's say text or numbers within a cell. Now I can do the same here and say I want to count the number of people who don't have children. So here I click on the equal sign and begin to type the count, and so I have the count if popping up. So the range that I want to select here is this particular one. Okay, so this is the range. So to click on the range, Control Shift, press the down key, and once that is done, you make sure that you click on the F4 key to lock the cell. Okay, so once you click it once, it will lock everything. Now once you are done with the range, the next thing to do is what criteria are you looking for. So here I want to use the mathematical sign symbol less than, but always make sure you put it in a speech mark. So I put less than 1. Okay, so any number less than 1, I have to close it with the speech mark and then close the bracket and then hit the enter key. So here I have 2 numbers which are less than 1. This is 0. Okay, now in the next cell, if I want to type in people who are less or equal to 1, all I have to do is say less, or put the equal sign there, 1. Less or equal to 1, hit enter, and then here I have these 3, which are, these 2 are less and this is equal to 1, so I have 3 people. So you can also use the Countif function with mathematical symbols like I've demonstrated. Now the last thing I want us to look at is the count with the not criteria. Okay, next function we want to look at is the count with the not criteria. In this case here, we want to put our answer in L8. So L8 here says number of true, and we want to count all 6 trues. So here true 1 all the way to 6. So here in this we have this number of true. However, we do not want to count any distance which is recorded as NT. Okay, so all you have to do here is to say Countif. So you begin to type Countif. So once you click on the Countif, you select the range. So the range is the first true all the way to the last true, and then the next thing I have to do is to bring the comma. And the criteria is that I don't want, as I indicated previously with the other Countif. So not, we don't want, so we don't want to count anything which is NT. All right, so the not is a less than, and then a greater sign facing each other. So that symbol indicates not. So that is what it means with the not criteria. Now, what don't we want to count within the Excel? We don't want to count anything which is labeled NT. So you type the NT. So what will happen is that it will look through this cell and count any number without counting the NT. All right, so when we type here, we have 6 trues as we see here. Now in this cell in particular, we have 1, 2, 3 not being true. Okay, the athletes who did that true didn't succeed in those 3 counts. So when we bring it down, we should find 3 in this cell. So autofill, just double click, and it goes all the way down. Once again, we have to be careful with the symbol. Okay, you don't leave any space in between the symbol, which is a greater than and less than. So right after the less than or greater than, you don't leave any space in, and you hit the enter key. So I'll rectify that with the first one and hit the enter key, and then I will replicate the formula for the rest. Now you can see that the right thing has been done. So with the not criteria, always make sure you don't leave any space. So I left space so that those who just want to hit the enter key just for anything you do, you are careful not to do that here. All right, so that gave us the number of counts here. So here we can count that there are only 1, 2, 3 trues. In here we don't have any missing. Here we have 1, so 1 not being a true out of 6, so we should have 5, which is rightly there. Okay, so that is how to do the Countif, the count with the not criteria. On this note, I want to encourage you to keep practicing And I wish you all the best in your exams. Take care and be good. Bye bye.